Is Nish Kumar as useless as I am in the morning? Let's find out. WUWAH. Good morning, my name is David. This is WUWAH. I can't say my name or the name of the show within the first minute of the show because the algorithm doesn't like swear words in the first minute. So I'll just use this time to gently encourage you into today. I hope you're up and out of bed. I hope you've gone outside. I hope you've given yourself some thumbs up in the mirrors. I hope you've drank some water. I hope you remembered that you were loved. And I hope you've planned to buy some bread. On this show, I like to ask comedians, musicians, creative people, and at least one archaeologist about their morning routines. My guest today is Nish Kumar, stand-up comedian, podcaster, all-round very nice man. He's also an expert on cricket, so I'm going to ask him about that. Both Nish and I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe this summer. I have a show at 5:40 at Nicholson Square Garden, Hoots, Nick 3. It's called How to Live to 100. I, a 37-year-old man, I'm going to teach you how to live to 100 years old. And I could promote Nish's show, but I'm pretty sure it's already sold out. You can also sign up to the Patreon to get an extra bit of Nish. I do a thing called Going to Bed With A Hoare, where I ask my guests about their bedtime routine. So go check that out. My name is David Hoare, and welcome to Waking Up With A Hoare.
Waking up with a Hoare. Waking up with a Hoare. Waking up with a Hoare.
The thing I usually tell people at the beginning of the records is that I told this to my first guest, Sanjay Arif, and he was like, you should tell that to everyone. Is this intended to be like a morning podcast for people to wake up to, so to not be too gross too quickly? But every comedian I've told that to has gone,
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted massively. So yeah. But yeah, that's fine. I think we'll see how we get on. Nish Kumar, are you a morning person?
God, no.
Hooray!
Like, not even vaguely. I mean, it's really bad stuff. Really bad stuff. Like a good example is that on Friday, Amy and I, my partner Amy and I, were going to Wells Comedy Festival, and we were leaving from London at sort of, I think, 10 in the morning, like 9 in the morning. We didn't leave until 10 in the morning,
right? And
even then, we only left because Amy was driving me, and then also Ed Gamble and Celia AB,
right?
And I was effectively hungover, in spite having no alcohol in my system.
Oh, I know the feeling. Yes.
Being the imposition of getting up at that time forced me to essentially operate on a hangover.
Yeah. Had you done anything the night before?
No. No.
Not at all.
I hadn't done anything the night before.
Oh, God.
It was literally like, I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I feel dehydrated and bleary. I mean, it's quite warm at the moment, but I don't think that's what happened. It was just literally that I was forced to wake up at 8 in the morning.
Yes.
It was I consider that an imposition in my life.
I won't necessarily explain all the details to the people on the podcast, but I showed you some photos from the B&B that I stayed in this weekend, which had some odd dolls and family photos from the family in our room, even though it was a B&B. My girlfriend, because it's so warm, had to take the dog out at 8 a.m. So she was waking up for 7, and she was like, you can just stay in bed and I'll come get you later. And I was like, it felt like we were staying in the set of Inside Number 9. I was like, I'm not staying in
the photos you showed me have very Inside Number 9 energy. Very. And that's not a compliment for a bed and breakfast. I love the TV show Inside Number 9, but we all like Psycho and no one is desperate to stay at the Bates Motel.
That's very, The Shining.
Yeah.
Great film.
Great film.
Terrible experience to have.
I have no desire to go to the Overlook. The Overlook? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Is your... we don't need to get too bogged down on this if you don't want to talk about it, but I find that my girlfriend is like, it's quite a yin-yang sort of thing of like, she's quite organised and therefore is quite good at getting me out of the house. Is Amy good at...
No, we got a couple of yangs. We got a couple of yangs in my household. It's full yang. It's real... It's Alan Yang and Jimmy O Yang. It's yang yang. Because
it's right.
We don't... Neither of us is like a naturally inclined morning person.
Oh, okay.
And so I think she is marginally more organized than me,
Right.
by which her ADHD manifests itself in slightly different ways than mine does. And so she's like a little bit better at like getting us out of the house at a certain time. But neither of us are like neither of us are fantastic about it.
That's fair.
Like neither of us are amazing at it. When I had, because in the years where I actually had a job that required me to be places in the morning, my old flatmates used to make fun of me because they used to suggest that I had slept in my work clothes.
Right.
Because I would literally leave with only enough time. Like I would wake up and just, it was sort of a straight shot out of the house.
Yes.
Straight shot, just straight to brush my teeth, straight to, and like, I mean, you told me to not be too disgusting too early.
No, please.
But I do need to shit immediately as soon as I wake up. And so, but I basically, in order for me to sleep the maximum amount, I basically redesigned my bowels so that I could hold it until I got to work. So I used to basically get up, brush my teeth, run straight out of the house, get on whatever form of transport. At various points, I had lots of different term jobs. It was bus, train, or tube. At various points, I was getting different transportations.
Right.
Run in, do everything, and then go barrel straight into work, immediate shit. Like immediate. The first thing I did at work was put my bag down and then go for a shit. And that then extended into when we were doing a TV show, the production company's office was about a 10-minute walk away from my flat.
Right.
In Shepherd's Bush. So instead of thinking, my God, this is unbelievable, you've got all this, you can get up, you can take your shit in your house, you can move at your leisure to your office. I would then get up 15 minutes before I had to be at work. So I would get up, brush my teeth, power walk into work, and then would just be sort of sat there. We'd do the first hour of the meeting. And then it became a running joke where I would say, it's 11:15. And that would mean I would have to go for a shit. And it then became a thing.
And that's 11:15, folks.
I feel
to
like
the whole crew.
I feel like it was Sarah Campbell, my friend and comedy writer, who sort of coined the expression of saying the time when you went for a shit. But it was based on me saying to everybody, okay, it's 11:15, like in all seriousness. And then I feel like Sarah Campbell then coined onto that, and the thing in the room became, if you needed to take a dump, you would stand up and just announce the time.
That's great. I'm sort of imagining, is it Robin Hood where they say like it's 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it's that
and
sort of
all's
vibe. Yeah,
well.
yeah. We would basically
Wow.
we would get in to have enough time to deal with like small talk and then like lay out the work plan for the day. What do we actually need to do? And at the end of the plan, I would immediately need to go and take a dump. All work would have to be suspended so that I could go for a dump.
That's quite impressive because a lot of this industry is based on times.
Yeah.
And you've still managed to make it within
I've
that.
still managed to get it in. Now because I'm sort of more... I've got better at getting up with enough time for me to do a shit in my house.
Congratulations.
That's the journey
That's
that I've
amazing.
gone through. I would say probably post 2020. Maybe I think the lockdown meant that I really was like, I will not compromise. I must be able to defecate in my own bathroom.
But there are people who cannot go outside of their house.
Yeah, I was like that when I was a kid, but then
Oh, right. But you sort of
soon
became
lost
the
that.
opposite.
Yeah, I soon lost that. No, listen, my preference is always to dump in my own house. That's always my preference. But I became incredibly accustomed, especially because for like 3 or 4 and 5 days a week, I was spending a lot of time in the offices of a production company or in a TV studio.
Right.
And so you just end up being like, well, it's all over. But I think now I've sort of regressed. Actually, what's happened is I've regressed.
Right.
And now I am irritated when I have to do a alfresco.
Yeah, alfresco isn't quite right, but I know what you mean. That's fair. We'll take it. I prefer alfresco. Well, I don't know if I prefer alfresco to just
The only person who
stating
does
the
an
time.
alfresco dump legitimately is, I don't know if this is even still true, but at one point, Richard Branson on Necker Island had an open-air toilet.
Oh, yeah.
A fully plumbed in open-air toilet so he could just take a shit whilst looking out at the ocean.
Isn't it odd that that's not the weirdest thing he's done?
Yeah, it's on the list.
Well, I was going to say the next question is, are you good at getting out of bed? But when you are waking up and do you stay asleep?
The
and
amount
then
of snoozing is terrible. It's really terrible.
on the alarms.
Yeah, I sort of. Yeah, I wish I was one of those people. I mean, I've tried various things like having the alarm, having the phone on the other side of the room, like all kinds of stuff. But it's hard to maintain the discipline.
Right.
It's really, yeah, it's a source of great frustration for me.
Right.
I wish I could just be straight up.
No, of course. I'm currently on an app which I've mentioned several times, which is called Sleep, and you have to do a maths puzzle to turn off, and you can turn off the snooze function as well.
That's actually quite a good idea.
And that has actually worked. And then they also have another alarm that goes off at the same time outside of the room.
Yeah, you've got a double alarm. Oh, if I have to get up,
Yeah.
I have several of those Casios. You know, the old Casio
Yeah,
watches.
yeah.
But for all of the comedians of my generation, because it was very cheap in the Argos catalogue, and it
Yeah.
has quite a big visible face, so you can see the time. People would use that as a stopwatch and wear it on stage.
It was the comedian's watch.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And
I
you knew someone was doing well if they had the vibrating one. That they'd started to do better at gigging.
We never graduated to the vibrating,
That must have been sorry to hear
which
that.
is grim. I aim to one day get the vibrating version, but like I have several of those, and on one of them, just because I need, I've got them all over my house, and I grab them when I'm going out to do a gig. But the strap has broken on one of them, and now I sort of use it as a timepiece. So now, if I really have to get up, I set my phone alarm and my watch alarm, and that is the sort of way of me going. You have to get out of bed. You have to get out of bed.
But that's not a everyday sort of thing. You just one alarm usually.
One alarm normally. Yeah.
Okay.
One alarm. So normally, the average day for me, one alarm, it goes off. But then, to be honest, it is interesting because there isn't fully an average day across my week.
Sure.
Just because, like, I've been in hotels for the last few days, and I weirdly find it easier. If I sort of have to be up and about in a hotel, I'm weirdly better at that.
Right.
I don't know why. I think maybe it's just because, like, it's never exactly the problem with your bed is it's configured to such specifications. Like, it's so personally configured to the contours of your butt.
Right.
That it is very difficult to get up out of your own bed. Whereas a hotel, regardless of how nice the hotel is, I'm quite a poor sleeper.
Right.
So I think maybe I'm not sleeping as heavily in a hotel as I am in my own bed. So like this morning, I had to get up to do something in the morning, and I'm almost sort of always late for these. And it's a Zoom. Like it's therapy. I had to do my Zoom therapy, and I'm almost always late. But today, because I was in a hotel, I was like, bang, I'm up, I'm ready. Because I do find it easier to wake myself up in a hotel room because I think I'm probably not sleeping as deeply. I think the problem is in my bed, I am like essentially dead. Like I'm close to dead every time I'm asleep. I'm sleeping that heavily.
That's fair. Do you then, when you do arrive on time for stuff, try and convince yourself that this could become the new normal? Or are you just like, this is
every
rare?
night I believe I'm going to wake up a completely different person.
Right.
Every single night I go to sleep thinking tomorrow is the day where you get up. Tomorrow's the day where you get up. There are people who get up in the morning and go to the gym before they've begin the structure of their day.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
I know, but
how do they do that?
Part of the reason I started this podcast was to find out if everyone else was like us.
Yeah.
And they're not. But morning people aren't eating breakfast, which freaks me out.
What do you mean?
Exactly. Morning people, people who are like, oh, I'm a morning person. I'm like, what do you eat for breakfast? And they're like, I don't.
What?
Yes.
So what are they? I will say, most of the morning people I know are morning people. Like my dad. My dad is a morning person.
Right.
My dad gets up, and the first thing he does is takes a dump. It's a family problem.
Family tradition.
But part of the reason he gets up so early is so that he can like take his time and then have like a huge amount of breakfast.
Right.
Like every single morning.
Right.
If you're a morning person who's not eating breakfast, then what are you doing?
I know.
What are you playing at?
That's essentially the rest of the episode for me. Is just go, but what?
Yeah, that's because my dad gets up early because he like has like a morning like ritual. Like he takes his dump, he sort of meditates. He doesn't combine the two, and he like has like a breakfast that he does. It's like a very specific configuration of mueslis that he has.
Right.
And so he's quite specific and ordered and regimented in the way that he starts his day. And that's why he gets up early.
Yeah.
Why you would get up early and not have that level of regimen? Is it
know.
because there is this new thing now about you're not supposed to eat anything before 12? Is that what it is?
No. They literally always like, well, I don't really eat breakfast. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it. And they can't really explain it. And I'm basically like you.
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I thought that what was going to happen was everybody that was a morning person was just going to start telling me how they do everything really well. And they were like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's different.
My dream start to the day, and I've said this on many podcasts, I genuinely have, is the Wallace and Gromit machine.
Sure.
I would like to be tipped up and dropped into all my clothes.
Have you seen the video of the guy that tried to make that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Smashes against the wall. It's not going to happen.
We're so far away from Wallace and Gromit style technology. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we've invested all this time in AI that requires data centers that need huge amounts of water to cool them. And actually, we've not developed Wallace and Gromit clothing technology.
I want a gun that butters my toes.
Exactly. These are the things that people need.
Right.
AI can't dress me.
Sleeves.
It can just give me wrong information.
Yeah,
It can just
exactly.
give me wrong information at great environmental expense.
You have raised a very good point, because I think when we were younger, it was like jetpacks are going to be a thing, and like rocket boots and stuff.
I'm walking around using my legs like a pleb.
And then what it actually has become is what you're saying. But
Yeah.
as you are right, it does feel like we kind of just brushed past doing Wallace and Gromit technology.
Using actual useful things.
Yeah.
People keep saying, oh, it's a time saver. I don't use it. It has no bearing on my life because it can't do my washing. It can't wash my clothes. There is
No.
You know what a useful machine is? The washing machine.
Right.
Unbelievable piece of kit. You seen these things? Crazy. You put dirty clothes
Check
in
them
them,
out.
and then through I think voodoo or something, the clothes come out clean. Phenomenal. That's useful. That's also a useful use of water.
Yeah.
Because it actually cleans shit off my clothes from where I haven't made it to the toilet in time in the morning.
From where I slept in too much.
Too long.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You are right. So what are you having for breakfast?
So I would say at most a single banana.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, no, not at most. Some fruits.
Okay.
So banana, apple, banana, oranges, something like that.
Mhm.
That's the sort of most I can organise and muster. There's like every so often I try to create the kind of regimentation that my father manages of like cereal and stuff, but it lasts 4 days maximum.
Sure.
It lasts 4 days.
That's the ADHD cycle, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say, along with, you've obviously had therapy today, so I won't dwell too much, but it's the Wallace and Gromit and the dream scenario that you think you're going to wake up a new person. Is acceptance is key.
Yeah. Except that's what my therapist keeps telling me. You have to accept your limitations. But it's like, at most, but then, as I say, because there are no regular days with me, there are points where I'm obviously not working the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so at those points, I will briefly think to myself, I tell you what, I should go get some eggs, make myself breakfast.
Mm.
And then I will leave the house and go straight to my nearest cafe
Right.
and have someone else make the eggs for me.
Sure.
I am known to every cafe in, I would say, a half-mile radius
Wow.
of every flat I've lived in. I'm known to them.
But whenever you leave the house to do it, it's always with the intention
The
of...
intention is always, it would be great if I could do this myself.
Right.
And then the reality is I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And I am like personally acquainted with, not because of, let's face it, ugly word, fame. Not because of fame.
No.
I am a valued patron of
Infamous.
these establishments. They don't know me for my work. They have no idea what I do. They just know I have a lot of time and seemingly a lot of disposable income, which I spend at their establishments.
Do you get eggs when you're there?
Sometimes I get lovely eggs. I get a lovely breakfast.
Lovely.
I think because I tour a lot as well, you get the chance to... It sometimes can be difficult to have really good dinners. Like, you can do it and it can work, but a lot of your best meals on tour are going to be breakfasts and lunches.
Right.
And I know this is like incredibly... Well, I just can't be bothered with the hotel breakfast. Like, it makes me depressed.
Sure.
So one of the things that I will do is go and go for a nice breakfast or lunch somewhere.
Nice.
I just went to the Crafty Egg this morning.
Oh, very nice.
In Stokescroft in Bristol.
Very,
Delightful.
very nice.
Absolutely delightful.
Very nice.
There's a place called Hot Plate that was across the road from there that is sadly shut. But I had a really good breakfast from there when I was here in 2024. I will try and investigate the coffee and the breakfast situation wherever I am.
But as you say, it's the monotony when you're doing things a lot. It's like when you start becoming like doing gigs, I think we all, especially you do a car show, you finish the gig, and everyone's like, we could just go to McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah.
We could do that, and then after a while, that becomes very like boring.
Yeah.
And it's just the monotony of it all, and like it's treats becoming very, very boring.
Yeah, and also touring is really fun, but it is also a lot of travel. But one of the upsides is you can explore whatever. I think that's why a lot of comedians become sort of foodies in inverted commas.
Yeah.
And I think it is literally because one of the nice things you can do is go and see, like in Bristol for me, it's a countdown from when I arrive to when I'll be in full court press. It's a countdown. Because like one of the best coffees I've ever had, consistently, is phenomenal. And so it's just a countdown for me.
Lovely.
Yesterday was one of the fastest. I got out of the car in Bristol and within 4 minutes was in full court press. Even for me, that's quite speedy.
You're just becoming more efficient.
Yeah, yeah. But that is so.
You want to be more efficient in your day,
Yeah.
and it's happening, just not where you were expecting it.
So basically, I've slightly left something out of my morning routine. So if I don't
please.
leave my house,
Yeah.
the one thing I will always have with breakfast is 2 coffees.
2.
I have a machine in my house, and I will have 2 coffees. That's the amount I require to begin my day.
This is very inside baseball. I don't know if inside baseball is the right word. I was once in Stuart Goldsmith's house, and he was like, you could have a coffee made by this machine that Nish Kumar convinced me to buy.
I did convince him.
Right, okay, because then I mentioned this to him again, and he was like, I'm not sure about that.
I definitely convinced him. I don't think I convinced him to buy a specific coffee machine.
But just a coffee machine.
Yeah, because you like nice coffee.
Yeah,
and
sure.
He also likes making it. He actually has the full clank, like that machine.
Yeah.
I've just got a bean to cut machine because again, too lazy. If I really could, what I would love to do is actually do a proper pour over.
Right.
But you have to. I'm not weighing beans, man. Again, be realistic about what you're going to do. I love it when I go to my friend's house and he does makes a proper pour over. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I ain't weighing beans. With love to the community, I'm not weighing beans.
Respect to the community.
You've got to make it proper. The reason it tastes good is because he weighs the right amount of beans out, grinds them himself, and then does the proper thing. And you have to have the special stupid. Thin mug, thin kettle with the elongated spout, and you have to get the water on it. It doesn't go to full boil because that's bad for the coffee.
No, of course, yeah.
So, and then you sort of slowly drizzle it in, and every time I taste it, I'm like, this is so good. And every morning when I get up, I want to press one button.
Yeah,
I want to press one. We don't even have. It's just beans in the top.
Right.
Fantastic beans.
Great.
Full court press beans. I'm getting beans from all over the country. Idle hands. I'm going everywhere. Pouring the beans in the top, and then just the coffee just immediately diarrheas out of the machine.
Okay.
That's what. So that it's the speed for me at
symbiotic
this
relationship.
point, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I have to have 2 coffees. My breakfast is 2 coffees and 1 piece of fruit, or 2 pieces of fruit.
What's the gap between the 2 coffees? Is it instant?
Instant.
Okay.
It's the first coffee, fruit, some water normally, and then coffee.
That's not as bad as it could be. I think you're kind of putting.
Well, you know what? I will say the one concession I have made to my health is that I've sort of, and it is hard, but I've largely phased out the cooked breakfast. As in the non-egg. I'll have eggs, but other than that, I've slightly phased out. Basically, the full English or the full Scottish breakfast, which is a tragedy because it's fantastic.
Yes.
It's genuinely fantastic. I'm not sort of hugely patriotic. Please don't cut that out of context and put it on the internet. That'll get me in more trouble.
That's going to be the entire episode. Is just that.
I'm not hugely.
Welcome, Nish. Done.
I never really I don't really understand roast dinners. I'm just not sure what the fucking point of it is, and I don't really understand why we stress roast dinners as something that we do well as a country, when in fact our real skill is the cooked breakfast. There is very little. The only thing better than a full English is a full Scottish.
Right.
Like it's crazy how delicious sausage, bacon, and eggs with
With haggis, right?
with haggis.
I had it in
Oh
Glasgow
my
recently.
god, it's so good, man. It's
And the
so
square
good.
sausage as well.
Yeah, the square sausage is delicious. But I have I would say maybe like 2 or 3 times a year I'm having a full English breakfast now.
But then it
Because
becomes a
had to
nice
go.
treat, right?
Yeah, it has to go. It has to go. The pork has to go. It has to go.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, yeah. What I will say in defense of the roast dinner is, I think it's just like it's a very good excuse to get the family around the table.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Yeah.
But
But there's better food
yeah,
that you can all eat.
sure.
There's better food, guys. Have a big stew.
It's also very much like Mama's put this all in
Yeah,
the oven
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
done
yeah,
this and
yeah,
we're all
yeah.
together. So it's
There's other food and it doesn't constipate you. Let's move on.
talked about getting it out and bunging you up. That's fine. Is there any other parts of your morning routine that you have outside of breakfast and immediate shitting?
No, because I guess so. The days where I have things to do,
Mhm.
like so this morning I have something to do.
Yeah.
There's no routine.
Right.
Like it's like you get up as close as you have to get up in order for you to do the thing you have to do.
Right.
There's no routine.
Sure.
There's nothing like. There's no like. I sort of feel like it was one of those. Is it Variety or Vanity Fair? They have the actors on actors, and I think it is Coleman Domingo and Kieran Culkin, and it basically is the 2 types of person.
Right.
And they're talking about their morning routine, and Kieran Culkin basically says, I mean, I'm awake at the exact amount of time it takes for me to get in
Right.
and go to set
Yeah.
when I'm on set. And Coleman Domingo is basically like, I get up 2 hours before I need to potter around. And there are people that I lived with Ed Gamble, and he likes to get up, he likes to ease his way into the day.
Right.
Whereas like I get up and it's chaos. Just chaos. It's just
That's
a
right.
blur of shitting and running. That's all
fair.
it is. And so if I have to, even if what I have to be at, which, especially post 2020, what I have to be at a lot of the time work-wise is on Zoom in the room next to my bedroom. Even then, I'm not living in Wayne Manor. It's not taking long for me to get from the East Wing to the West Wing
You haven't had to
of
get a
my
series of
fucking
tubes.
house. Yeah, exactly. It's not like I'm not having to get Alfred to golf cart me from one bit of the mansion to the other. But even then, I am sometimes late for these things. And like, I think that it honestly is, it is a problem. And then when I have to go somewhere, it's just like you're just running at top speed.
Right.
Like
Oh, really? Okay, because I would relate to all. I relate so much to this. So, like earlier on, when you were saying about trying to convince yourself what time you need to leave, me and my girlfriend had a full conversation, which has basically resulted in her saying, if we need to leave, we've agreed that if we need to leave at 12:30, we say we need to leave at 11:30, because my brain just can't compute. And then that kind of feeling of like leaving, and you're like, there is enough time, but then if you get waylaid at all, then it's you're having to speed up. And do you feel like you're having to
I'm always
jog to get where you are?
Yeah, and I'm always making a calculation in my head. If I see something takes 10 minutes on Google Maps walking, I'm like, I reckon I can shave a couple of minutes off that.
Right.
And the really, really irritating thing is that sometimes I am right.
Yes.
Like I can shave minutes off.
You're validating your own
Worst impulses.
Yeah.
There's definitely times where I'm like, I can definitely shave a couple of minutes. Whatever this pussy ass Google Maps thinks, I can definitely trim a couple of minutes off of it. And it unfortunately is sort of doable sometimes. But again, it's like, when you live in like a city, there are traffic elements that you can't control. Like you can't guarantee that you're going to make every pedestrian crossing.
No.
And also then you can't, like I can't drive, so I spend a lot of time relying on the British public transportation network.
Right.
You can't possibly...
No, it's got worse and worse and worse and worse.
And there was a brief period where I was on tour and Sarah Barron was supporting me, and she said, can I ask you what's going on with you? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, you're way more on time than you normally are. And that was because there was this brief period where I realised. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode, The Opposite?
Right.
Where George Costanza
Yeah,
realises
yeah.
his instincts are appalling and he just needs to do the opposite of what he would do.
Yeah.
That was what I was doing.
Oh my God.
And I actually,
And it
every
worked.
time, because every time I thought I had enough time to do something, I knew I didn't have enough time to do it.
I shall be at the Edinburgh Fringe 2026 with my new show, How to Live to 100, where I, a 37-year-old man, are going to teach you how to live to 100 years old. It's at 5:40 at Hoots Nicholson Square Garden, Nick 3. I shall be there from the 7th to the 31st. Not the 19th, that's my day off. I'm going to teach you exactly how to live to 100 years old, so you better grab your tickets to find out how. Get them via the Edinburgh Fringe website. David Hoare, How to Live to 100 at the Edinburgh Fringe at 5:40 p.m. every day. Yeah.
Not only do I like to ask people about their morning routines, I also like to ask people about their expertise. And we discussed some last night, but I also spoke to your friend of mine, Tom Neenan.
The Neen Machine.
The Neen Machine.
Treat him mean, keep him keen. A show title he will not use despite my repeated suggestions.
Repeated suggestions. Yeah. That's a shame, because that is good.
Yeah.
But he's just not mean enough to...
No.
Mean, he's like the least mean person there is.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was tempted to go with Bob Dylan, but what I realised was that my urges with that would result in me being like, is this a real Bob Dylan quote? And then I just sat here going, and I'm like, I just don't. I don't want to do that. So you're obviously an expert in cricket.
Oof. Big claim. Big claim.
Big claim. Expert. That's good. So for people that don't know, can you just explain what cricket is?
Cricket is the game of the gods. Okay. Imagine if baseball had unprotected sex with a library. What you would get is cricket. It's a bit like if chess occasionally just featured a rock being thrown at 90 miles an hour across the board. Like it's
fast.
it sort of now comes in a couple of different iterations. So there's a version that lasts for 20 overs. Each over is 6 balls. So there's 20 overs for one team to bat, and then 20 overs for another team to bat. There's another version that's 50 overs. So again, 50 lots of 6 balls. You bat, then if we flip that around, we do another 50 overs. But the original iteration of the game is 5 days, and both teams get 2 goes at batting. And there is no time limit on how long they can bat for. And the only time limit is it has to be over in 5 days. For me, it's not a real sport if it does not last a full working week. That's one game. One game must last a full working week. Because also, when something lasts over 5 days, all sorts of mad variables start to come into play.
Yeah.
Like the pitch, it just changes.
Right.
Like it just changes. Like a football match in 90 minutes, whatever the conditions are at the start, they're pretty much the conditions at the end.
Yeah.
They're exactly the conditions at the end. Occasionally there's a bit of shift in the weather, but generally an hour and a half, 2 hours including the half-time interval, not really enough time. Over 5 days, the entire surface that you're playing on, the atmospheric conditions, everything can change.
Right.
And so also at the core of the game, one person basically has a rock. A cricket ball is rock hard.
Yeah.
And they are attempting to propel that rock, sometimes at speeds of up to 100 miles an hour, at someone else. Now, the other person is not obliged to do what every human instinct would be telling them to do, which is duck, dive, or run out of the way, or just run away screaming. Their object is to use a quite thin strip of a tree to try and strike that rock at as hard as they possibly can. Yeah. And the interesting distinction with baseball, I think, because baseball is the same thing: rock, stick, whack.
Right.
But with baseball, the rock has to be on the full, so it's just being thrown at you. Whereas, which sounds instinctively like it should be more dangerous, but in reality, cricket is sort of more dangerous because instead of it being directly thrown at you, it's thrown at the ground where anything could happen.
Yeah. And with extra propulsion. You actually just raised a point that I thought about, because over here, obviously, like the English football or soccer compared to American football, they're all covered in loads of pads.
Yeah.
And in baseball, they're not covered in loads of pads, but in in cricket, they're covered in so many pads.
So many protective gears.
Things you can't even see.
They're covered in protective gear because I think generally the ball can curve through the air, right? And it moves towards you on a gradient. The problem with the ball hitting the pitch is it can just sometimes there will just be a point where the ball just strikes the pitch and just shoots directly into the midriff of the batter.
Yeah, of course.
And you'll see people commentating on it say things like, "Oh, you've got to play that better."
Yeah, and they're like, well, what they should have done is lent into
Yeah,
that.
exactly,
Rather
yeah.
than have their spleen damage.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like it gets like wedged in like the small gap between the grate protecting their mouth and like the, That's mad.
Yeah, because often one of the criticisms they will say of batsmen is, they've not got far enough forward. And what the kind of crux of that criticism is, the rock that's being thrown at you 100 miles an hour, you did not get close enough to it. You did not give yourself less time to react. And you have fractions of a second.
Yeah.
You have like fractions of a second. And from the other side, the people chucking the rock, they are so skilled that they can make that rock move in the air.
Right.
And also move off the pitch. And
they can aim at different points on
yeah,
the
they
ground.
can aim at different points in the ground, and they can they can control exactly where it's landing whilst also making it move at 90 miles an hour. And then there are the kind of slower bowlers who, again, when people talk about slow bowlers, it's still 60 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. So that's still incredibly fast. But they're also trying to do things to the ball so that it completely changes direction when it hits the ground. So there's a lot going on in cricket that is consistently very, very exciting.
You've just raised a bunch of stuff that I haven't even considered. What I will say is my cricket watching pretty much ended when it was taken off Channel 4.
Yes,
because
and now we get into a separate podcast about the insanity of the ECB and the administrators of the game. It's it's a sport in inexorable decline in this country because it is no longer available on free-to-air television in any form.
Yes, well, same's happened with football, I believe, where like they're like, why are there no young fans? And it's like it costs so much money to watch.
Yeah,
but you've just pointed out the fact that you're saying like obviously football takes place over about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Over an hour and a half of cricket, potentially 9 of the people involved in the game are not playing.
Yes.
I hadn't even. I just realized like that's absolutely.
That
is one of those things.
The team
about
that's batting, 9 people are not involved.
The next person is sat there in pads going.
But also, it's really it's why it's sort of a game of slightly of mental fortitude.
Yeah.
Because you could just at any point, if your first 2 batters are in and you're batting at number 4, you could be sat there in your pads for the whole day and not get out.
Sure.
Or you could be in 10 minutes. At points in the last Ashes series, England's number 4 was in 15 minutes into the game. So there is also an element of real sort of mental fortitude. Yeah. And I think it shows you like the 2005 Ashes was such a watched and followed sporting event. It just shows you that if it's an exciting game and there is the ability for people to watch it, then people will watch it. The Test series between India and England that happened last summer is one of the most exciting. Andy Zaltzman, who is a friend of mine and a great comedian and a genuine cricket expert to the extent that he's monetized his expertise and is now the statistician on BBC Radio's coverage of the cricket, was saying that the last hour of the last Test match of the summer in the Oval was the most exciting hour of sport he's ever seen.
Wow.
And I cannot stress this enough. That man has seen literally millions of hours of sport.
That's true.
Millions. That man has watched sports you and I have never even heard of. But
he dressed up as a full cricket player for Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's right. He dressed up as a full cricket player. Yeah,
that's just like in some way to establish his passion. He's actually on a par, maybe even more than with. I think Toby Haydock has like gone, I love Doctor Who, and then turned that into his job.
Yeah,
and maybe Andy Zaltzman's done that even more.
I think so. I mean, Zaltzman is like obsessed with cricket statistics, and he has them. He both has them to hand in his memory, but he also he has all of these spreadsheets, and he's able to sort of manipulate data to tell you that he's built these spreadsheets himself. He's able to sort of manipulate data to tell you what someone scored in a specific Test match in 1973. He could tell you that immediately, and on the same ground, he could tell you what the batsman batting in the same position as that person scored in 2017. Like he
you can't beat passion, can you?
Statistics. It's terrifying.
That's amazing. So did you play cricket? I'm aware that you play cricket now. Did you play cricket when you were younger?
I played cricket horribly when I was younger. Horribly.
Right.
So bad.
From
really
what sort
bad.
of age?
From probably about 6 or 7 to until I was about maybe 13 or 14.
Right.
But particularly from sort of 11 to 14, 15,
Mm.
I was playing a lot of cricket in the summer.
And what position did you play then?
Bad. There's some people that are called all-rounders.
Right.
Because they can bat a bit and bowl a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they can bowl very well and bat very well. Sometimes they can do one well and the other fine.
Mm-hmm.
I could do both badly.
Right.
And I was called on to do both badly at various points. I was kind of an okay bowler for about 2 years.
Okay.
But
And
then all the
what's
other
your
kids
bowling
grew.
style?
It was originally fast at 11, and by 13 it was slow because all the other kids grew and I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And so
right.
the speed at which I could propel the ball stayed the same. I maintained a kind of steady average speed.
Very consistent.
But the average speeds of everyone else due to growth spurts increased exponentially.
But does that mean you were just like a medium-paced bowler, or did you try and then put spin on it?
Then I did try and put spin on it because I thought I've got to do something here.
Right. Okay.
Also bad.
Fair enough. And do you play now as well?
No, I haven't played in a while. I bowled some balls and hit some balls in the net with my cousin a couple of maybe 2 years ago. That was the last time I played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because tell me I'm wrong, but when I found you at the Edinburgh Fringe with your hand in a sling and you said you'd broken your finger, had you not broken your finger playing cricket?
No, amazingly, I'd broken my finger playing football.
Oh, okay.
I broke my
I'd
finger.
completely
I broke
misremembered
my
that.
finger
Apologies.
and toe playing football.
Right.
I play football every week.
Okay.
I
have misremembered that,
I would
sorry.
like to play. I did face, and I think it is quite good. I think everybody who likes cricket should get to do this once. I mean, it's quite. I would say most of this is not possible for most of you to do. But I was supposed to face balls bowled by Andrew Flintoff.
Right.
But he messed up when I did League of Their Own years ago. But he'd messed up his shoulder. That's what he says. Maybe he was chickening out.
Right.
He definitely messed up his shoulder. He messed up his shoulder, so instead they had him put balls into a bowling machine. And I got to face a 70, 80, and 90 mile per hour ball.
Hmm.
And I think I might have hit one of them. I think I saw the 60 mile per hour ball, but I missed it. I hit the 70 mile per hour ball. I didn't see the 90 mile per hour ball. I just didn't see it.
Wow. Okay.
It just sort of happened. And I was stood there looking at it, and I was looking at the machine, and then I heard a sound, and that sound was the stumps exploding.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I just didn't see it. Like, I did not see the ball. That's why. And I think part of the reason why
that's 30 miles slower than.
Yeah, everyone should have to
else.
face it because it's difficult. It's really hard to simulate the conditions of playing against a professional footballer. My brother always says when we go and watch football live, he always says the important thing to remember is when they short pass the ball to each other, that ball is as hard as when we kick it as hard as we can.
Yeah, of course.
He was basically like the speed at which that ball moves is the speed of us shooting the ball. But it's difficult to get that conditions. But a bowling machine, you can actually see what it looks like when a ball comes at you at 90 miles an hour. You can't get all of the, because of variations and stuff, but you can at least experience just the sheer lack of time you have.
Right.
And the compressed you have like fractions of a second,
Of course.
to hit this thing.
This is remember two things. One of my favorite analogies for this sort of thing is I think the first time you ever do comedy,
Yeah.
and then you then see any other comedy again, even if you've seen a clip 100 times,
Yeah.
you're suddenly so much more impressed.
Yes.
Because you're like,
Yes,
wow.
that is
and
true.
I had the same thing with when I started growing a mustache. Every mustache I saw after that, I was like, how are you doing? How have you managed to make it that good? Because it's just there was a grooming technique that I had no idea. I literally, part of the reason I started this podcast was Mike Wozniak had said, I'll be, if you're going to start that, then do that. And I was like, well, I'll interview him. His expertise will be mustaches.
Yeah.
And then I can find out about how he does it. And I feel like
Wozniak's moustache. It's like a gorilla's back.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And he has, if you go watch the Wozniak episode, you can find out how he grooms his mustache. And it's perfect.
Extraordinary.
Valuable information.
It's lustrous.
And I think there
It's
is,
like a meadow.
People always say with the Olympics, it's like there should be somebody running the 100 meters.
Yes, the control runner. Yeah, they should be a
and I
control
think,
runner. Yeah.
as you say, it's like go face a 70 mile an hour ball and then go watch cricket again, and you're like, how are you doing any of that? Or skateboarding, as soon as you try and do an ollie, or just get on a skateboard and nearly fall off it, and then you watch what Rodney Mullen or Tony Hawk can do, and you're like,
Yeah.
how are you doing any of that? You've also reminded me, I'd completely forgotten. This is very, very much a podcast of you saying one sentence to me going, oh, I was so much into cricket between the ages of about 8 to when, it must be 16 when they took the
2005 was the last Ashes.
Yeah, so I was 16. So they had a charity cricket match. The two of them, I think they were 2 years apart in my hometown, and it was just basically a bunch of local celebrities playing cricket in Hertfordshire. And so, Barry Norman was there.
Wow.
A lot of, Arsenal and Tottenham football players. So, David Seaman, I remember Lee Dixon, Gary Mabbott. But whilst...
Mabbott, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Diabetic. Who was?
Famously.
Professional footballer with diabetes.
I can't exactly remember what the turn of events was, but it turns out Kevin Keegan was in the nets and he was letting kids bowl at him. So, I've bowled a ball at Kevin Keegan. And I'd literally forgotten that until... just now. So I also remember that it was just when I think Glenn Hoddle had taken over from Kevin Keegan, and they were both at either end of the crease.
Wow!
Right now, and the commentator's like, "There's probably going to be a run out here."
Oh my god!
It's mad. The funniest thing about that though is, in amongst all of the
other
males,
way round, I reckon Keegan took over from Hoddle. Right. Yeah, because Hoddle was the manager I think Hoddle took over from Venables, and then Hoddle was the manager in '98, and then Hoddle. I'm pretty sure got fired for some insane comments.
Oh, he did.
About disabled people being punished for sins in their last life.
Yes.
That he was recycling from a weird faith healer that he was obsessed with. What a time, the 90s.
Yeah.
A crazy time.
There was a documentary that I was at my friend's and he has Sky Sports and I don't have Sky Sports, and there was a documentary about Glenn Hoddle, and advert was basically amazing football, amazing playing career, amazing managing career. I said what I said. Glenn Hoddle, genius of football. And I'm like, this is definitely a bit of three parts. That it's such an odd scenario to look at. But But the odd thing about it was at both times, and she must have lived locally, I met Dot Cotton.
Really?
So, but she was the only female celebrity knocking about. But she was doing sci-fi. She's so nice.
Oh, that's
June Brown. But yeah, it was very odd. But I genuinely forgotten. I suddenly I bowled a ball at Kevin Keegan. Yeah,
there's some people that are broadly. There's obviously people that play one sport their whole life, but there are also people that are broadly sporty. Gary Neville definitely played cricket to quite a high level. And I think there's a photo of him as a schoolboy batting with Matthew Hayden, who then was one of the big Australian cricket players. Yeah. And so I think there are people that are sort of sporty and then they kind of make a decision.
Lineker as well, I think.
Really?
Yeah. He told some story recently on a podcast where he basically was playing a charity match and he got it's one of those things was I got 100 not out and then was supposed to play for Leicester and then scored a hat trick that day, best day ever. And it's this sounds made up, but I don't think Gary Lineker is the sort of person to.
Listen,
he's not Hulk Hogan.
He comes from Leicester. He plays cricket. He's a friend to the Asian community. That's what that tells me. If you're from Leicester and you like cricket, you're a friend to the Asian community.
That's very nice. He's a good man. Do you have a favourite cricket player?
I mean, I have many favourite cricket players, actually.
Okay.
I mean, my family is sort of obsessed with Indian cricket.
Sure.
And so there was a batting lineup that was really impressive. Everybody loves Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar is a sort of religious figure to the extent that I've been to temples in India, and they will have pictures of gods. Hinduism there's a lot of imagery associated with it. It's not there's some religions like Islam where there's you're not supposed to depict the prophet.
Right.
Similarly with Christianity, idolatry is generally sort of frowned upon. Again, in certain bits of Christianity, if you go to a Catholic church, you're these people love some action figures. They love it. But certainly Hinduism is leans more in that direction, and so there'll be depictions of gods, and then religious. And then sort of general religious figures within the religion, and then political figures,
right?
And Gandhi, Nehru, and then Tendulkar. So you literally see Krishna, Gandhi, Sachin, bang, bang, bang. That's how important he is.
He's very
important. Certainly that's how important he was to not just the Indian culture, but the Indian diaspora,
right?
And I think I told this joke on my show a couple of years ago. I truly touched the hem of his garment like he was Jesus. He was going back up the pavilion at the Oval,
right,
in 2002, and I was watching him, and I ran, like, jumped over 3 seats, and just to sort of try and pat him on the back. But what I ended up doing was essentially touching the hem of his garment.
Right.
When was this? That important? 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. They were playing a game against. It's like, I think it must have been a triangular tournament between England, Sri Lanka, and India, and it was at the Oval.
Right.
And yeah, he was a very important figure in my household growing up. So yeah, Tendulkar, like the English players. I always really loved a guy called Darren Gough. He was a really good,
I love Darren
really
Gough.
lovely fast bowler. Like one of in an era where England were bad against Australia, particularly, really stuck his neck out and played really well against Australia and in Australia. Graham Thorpe, R.I.P., very sad, was a wonderful batsman and because he played for Surrey, I actually got to see him bat a few times at the Oval, which was great.
Oh, nice.
Then the kind of sort of later era of play, Rahul Dravid was another like Indian cricket player that I loved. VVS Lakshman was a kind of mad genius who was like that Australian team was unbelievable. That sort of era of sort of the War brothers, Shane Warne, Glenn McGrath.
Right.
That it was an unbelievable team, and every batsman of that era's average is here, and then their average against Australia is considerably lower.
Yeah.
Apart from Tendulkar and apart from Lakshman, whose average generally is quite bad,
Yeah.
but then inexplicably multiplies by a factor of about 10 against the best cricket team of my lifetime. He was
Right.
just this like, he was the opposite of whatever a flat track bully was. Like, he was almost rubbish against rubbish teams.
Yeah,
and then incredible against the Australians. Like,
There are these sorts of people that just sort of spring to life.
yeah,
when
it
they're
was
like,
so
nothing
mad.
to lose.
It's just like, you've got to try and trick him into thinking these people are Australian, because his general average, he generally was like a pretty okay player.
Sure.
Apart from against the best team in the world, where he was unbelievable. And yeah, and then I guess sort of the more, sort of as you get into the more modern era, I mean, obviously everyone loved Freddie Flintoff.
Right.
Everyone loves him. He's a kind of beloved national treasure,
Mhm.
and you know, with good reason. He was
Backs it up.
a really, really good, really brilliant player. Joe Root is the best English cricketer in my life. Like,
Nice.
Joe Root is a really, really special batsman. Like, he is a really, like, it's an absolute privilege watching him bat. He's such a brilliant cricketer. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cricket players around that I've got a lot of time for. Love Stokesy.
Lovely.
Love Stokesy.
Yeah.
We love Stokesy. Whether
Why
he's
wouldn't you?
speaking openly about his mental health problems or punching homophobes,
Yes.
we love Stokesy. He's a terrific
Proves
player.
it on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
Marvellous. WUWAH. Not only do I like to ask people about their expertise, I also like to quiz people about their expertise. So I'm now going to ask you 5 questions about cricket
Boy, I'm going to get all of these wrong.
to prove how much you know about cricket. Question number 1. Who was Shane Warne engaged to?
I mean, I love Warnie, one of my great heroes. I believe he was engaged to many people, but I'm assuming the answer you're looking for is Liz Hurley.
I am.
I met Shane Warne, one of the great days of my life.
Did you?
Yeah, one of the
Wow.
great days of my life. Yeah, but I assume surely the correct answer here is Liz Hurley.
Yes. Was he engaged to other people as well?
I think he might have been married before.
Oh, okay.
Warnie, R.I.P., I think put it about a fair bit with respect to the brother.
Yes.
But yes, he did. When he was with Liz Hurley, I believe an Australian journalist whose name, I can't remember who it was that coined this phrase, but I think it was an Australian cricket journalist who described him as the patron saint of men punching above their weight.
I remember just finding out. I don't know that I knew it at the time, and I think when Shane Warne passed away, it was like that he
Oh no, I was very aware of it at the time.
with Liz Hurley, and I'm like, what, like Austin Power, like.
But you know what's funny about it is because they were such like, you know, Liz Hurley was so famous in the 90s,
Right.
Austin Powers, all that stuff, and Shane Warne was such an iconic. I mean, Shane Warne's fame sort of extended through the 90s into the 2000s,
Yeah.
especially if you're a cricket fan. But he was such a totemic figure in sport in the 90s. But finding out the two of them were going out was like finding out Mr. Blobby was dating Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Like, it had that like weird thing of like, oh, I guess we're just mashing 90 celebrities together now. But yes, I assumed from the question you meant it was Hurley.
Well, yeah, very good cricket expertise. Question number 2: what colour is Jiminy Cricket's hat?
Jiminy Cricket's hat's black.
It's blue.
Is it blue?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, it
He's
is
got
blue.
a black jacket, but blue.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, question number 3. What is the suborder of crickets?
The suborder of crickets.
Mm.
Is that something from A Bug's Life?
I mean, essentially, yeah.
What is it?
Ensiphera?
I don't understand any of the words you've used.
I mean, the bugs. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We've gone. Okay, this is usually the bit that people turn on me. Got question number 4. Which family of crickets is known as true crickets?
I'm going to say... I don't even know why I'm trying to guess this. I don't know a single thing about crickets. I literally know nothing about crickets. I have no concept.
I was really like, oh.
Why am I doing this? I have no idea. The ones that make that sound?
Do you want to go? Yeah, I mean...
The ones, the sound makers.
The sound makers. Yeah. It says Grilliday on the internet. So, I don't know. So you've got only one right so far, so...
Wow.
Maybe not the cricket expert you pretend to be.
This is a disaster.
But question number 5, let's see if you can redeem yourself. Why is Andrew Flintoff called Freddie?
Because it is one of the most confusing nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is basically because Flintoff kind of sounds like Flintstone.
Correct.
Like, it's because Flintoff sounds a bit like Flintstone. Andrew Flintoff for his entire life is called Freddie as a reference to Fred Flintstone.
Sports nicknames in particular, I think are so funny because that is it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing.
I forget which snooker player it is, but there's a snooker player. I bring this up as much as I can. That they're like, that's why he'll do an amazing shot, and they'll go, that's why they call him the Jester from Leicester. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Jester rhymes with Leicester. That's why. They're not going to be like, that's the Jester from Wigan. They're not going to do that.
At least Ronnie O'Sullivan being called the Rocket. It's, there's something. It's like it's
alliteration
a thing. Yeah, and it's alliteration. Fred Flintoff, because Flintoff sounds a bit like Flintstone.
Right.
Is incredible. And also, he's just known as that now.
What exactly?
Even if you don't know anything about cricket, even when we used to do League of Their Own,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Ramesh used to just call him Freddie.
Yeah.
That is mad.
Ramesh is a big Flintstones fan, clearly.
Ramesh loves Barney Rubble. He's a huge rubblehead.
He's got a new car that he runs with his feet, which is nice. Well, so you got 2 out of 5 there, so not as much of a cricket expert as I thought you might be, but that's fine. Nish Kumar, where can we find you online?
You can find me at nishkumar.co.uk or at Mr. Nish Kumar on Instagram. I think on Twitter still.
Okay.
I haven't deleted it. I think it's still there.
Okay. Posting a lot.
Big time. Big time.
The last time I went on it was Elon Musk saying we're now free.
Yeah.
And underneath it was somebody had posted like a CGI dragon with massive tits.
Yeah.
As the top comment.
Freedom.
And I was like, if that's what you want,
sweet taste of freedom.
You guys stay here. That's fine. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I'm on tour later in the year, and you can get tickets at nishkumar.co.uk. And I have a free stand-up special available on YouTube called Nish Don't Kill My Vibe.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. Podcast as well?
And the podcast, fuck me. There's also a podcast that I do called Pod Save the UK, which is a UK news podcast. And if you have Dave, not Dave, it's called
Not
You
me.
and Dave, not David. You can watch The Way Out. You can watch that on Stream on You, I believe is the name of the network.
Great.
I'm unclear on it. But Google The Way Out.
Amazing. My final question to all my guests is, can you give me a title for a song, and I'll write that song and edit it in afterwards?
Oh. Yeah. That's exciting. I wonder what... Oh, I'd like you... This might be a rights issue, but I'd love you to rewrite the Flintstones theme tune and it just says the Flintoffs.
Okay.
It might be a rights issue.
We'll see. I'll go with the Flintoffs,
Yeah.
and we'll see how we get on.
Yeah, let's go from there. I'm fascinated to see what you make of the line "the modern Stone Age family."
Okay, that's good. I think parody laws are fine.
Yeah, it's a parody.
That's good. All right, I'm intrigued by that. Well, Nish Kumar, thank you very much for waking up with a whore.
Thank you.
Flintoff, Freddie Flintoff. He was born in the 1970s. From the town of Bristol, his name sounds a bit like Flintstone. He was one of the best cricket players in the world. Then he advertised clothes. Flintoff sounds like Flintstone, and that's how you get a nickname. You get a nickname for the rest of your life. Thank you very much to Nish Kumar. Go follow him, go watch his TV shows, go see him live if you can get a ticket. As I say, both Nish and I will be at the Edinburgh Fringe this summer. My show is called How to Live to 100. It's at 5:40 from the 7th till the 31st of August at Hoots Nicholson Square Garden, Nick 3. You can get your tickets via the Edinburgh Fringe website. You can also sign up to our Patreon for just £3 and you can get an extra bit of Nish Kumar talking about his bedtime routine in a segment called Going to Bed with a Hoare. I have more WUWAH episodes coming out very soon, so keep your eyes peeled. I hope today that you eat 3 meals, go outside, wash your water bottle, be a decent human being, eat some bread, and remember that you are wonderful. My name is David Hoare, and thank you for waking up with a whore.
Try and have an adequate day. Meet your basic needs and don't be a dick.